happen, why, and so on and so on. Now, later on, when Jesus Christ was reborn here on planet Earth, Lucifer, Satan, and Caligastia joined forces to dethrone Jesus and to make him fail his mission. That mission was appointed by God. That's why he was reborn on planet Earth. And all them three persons tried to make him fail his mission. But they failed miserably. They were unable to even touch, not physically, but mentally, Jesus, because he was literally untouchable, because his faith was so great about his Father that no other being can actually influence him unless he decides to do so willingly. They knew that, but they still tried to deceive him for one last time. That's also written in the Bible somewhere, when Satan came with a lightning from the skies and spoke to Jesus, explaining him something, and Jesus said to him, "Be gone from me." And that's when he actually put an official end of Lucifer's rebellion, which we're going to discuss later on how this works. Now, Beelzebub was the first of its kind of the creatures in between the worlds. These creatures were very peculiar category of creatures that were the firstborns of the very origin humankind that had crossbreeds with Adam and Eve. Because the genes of Adam and Eve were very strong, the first children that they have with humans were in between the visible spectre, so they were able to become visible and invisible on their own free will whenever they want. They are in between physical realm where we are and between the spiritual realm, on the border. They're neither fully human, they're neither fully spiritual. There's something in between. I'm gonna explain about this later on as well. So Beelzebub was the ruler over these creatures. They were about 2,000 or so. And these creatures were the ones responsible for everything that we do know as poltergeist, ghosts, moving objects in our houses and stuff, and all them weird stuff that we see on the movies. They were doing that because they literally had nothing else to do. They were very confused. And they also, being confused and misled by Lucifer and Satan and Caligastia, they also joined forces, helping the rebels to rebel against God. And Abaddon, about Beelzebub, this is also reference from the Bible. I'm not sure which part, but it refers to something like this. Jesus was walking in a mountain and he saw a guy that was possessed by a strong spirit. He went to the guy and commanded the spirit to leave the person. And the spirit was so afraid of Jesus that started begging for his wife. And Jesus said, "What is your name?" And the being answered, "Call us Legion, because we are many." And there were about 2,000. Jesus commanded this ghost to leave the person, and for some reason the ghosts asked Jesus if they can inhabit a nearby big flock of pigs. So when they left the person, all them 2,000 spirits went into the pigs, and all these pigs started running towards the water, and all 2,000 pigs jumped into the water and drowned themselves on their own free will. This is recorded in the Bible somewhere. That's cross-reference kinda. So this next person, Abaddon, was the right hand of Caligastia. All this heavenly order works through delegation of functions. So each superior being delegates its functions to the lower ones, and so on, exactly like what we do on our planet. pretty much the same. Everything we do here is a clear copy of what's happening in the counterspace. Pretty much. We didn't invent anything, we didn't create anything, everything was taken from there. So this Abaddon, or Abaddon, is what we call demon. He was the right hand of Caligastia. He was in charge of the fallen ones that were still here on planet Earth, being walked under quarantine, unable to use the planetary transportation means because they were denied for them. So I do presume that when Jet refers to the rebel group, Abaddon or Avadon is the leader of that group. The symbol, the emblem of the rebel group was a serpent or a dragon, not a snake. Like a mighty creature, definitely not a snake. It was referred as a serpent. That's why most of the cross references for ancient texts and Bible and so on and so on, when they say the serpent or the snake, they refer not to a certain being of these, but most probably to the entire group of rebels. Now currently, imagine what this Abaddon, who's very, very low level compared to the other people, well, not people but beings, what he managed to do here on planet Earth with us, how many bad things, all the corporations and all them conspiracy theories and all that, was dictated under him. He's in charge of the church, in charge of the Rothschild and all them secret families and lineages and so on and so on. I'm gonna explain about the lineages in another episode. So, on the other point, all these beings, they go to school. Before they become planetary princes or whenever function they have never had before, they go to a school very, very long time. So before, for example, Caligastia came to Earth, he went to school, literally, to a superior category. And that's when they teach them everything about our world and everything about human beings in general. They know everything about everything. They know everything about human bodies. They know everything about hormones, thoughts, emotions, frequencies, everything. Even the lowest one, Caligastia, most probably has more knowledge than the entire humankind ever had up until today combined. Many times over. And this is the lower one. So imagine what Satan and Lucifer had as a knowledge. That's how he's able to manipulate us with everything that is being created. Now God created the earth. It's supposed to be perfect. It had to be perfect. It was perfect. And then Lucifer proclaimed his newly seen views in a proclamation which he spread around our system, trying to deceive every single planetary prince and every other being so they follow him and rebel against God. Roughly, this concludes part 1. Point of the part 1 was so you know who's who and how things work. Now I'm gonna go into very, very detail about his rebellion in the next couple chapters I'm gonna do and how everything happened, and it's quite fascinating. I suggest you don't miss the rest of them. It doesn't matter if you believe or not. Just hear the story. It might make some sense for you because it did for me. So now after you know who's who and how roughly things work, on the next video I'm gonna explain how everything started, why it started, what was the purpose of Lucifer rebel against God and what he thought, and how later on he actually realized that he was very, very wrong, but it was very late. Thank you for the patience and understanding. I hope this didn't disrupt anybody's way of thinking. This is just for the sole purpose of helping and clearing some mysteries about these ancient names and beings, and this is according to my knowledge. You don't have to agree. Thank you.